What's going on, guys, and welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to be doing spark plugs on my 2014 Gen 1 Raptor. All right, that's right, guys. My truck has about 115,000 miles. The recommended interval change for these trucks, I think, is closer to 90,000. So definitely a little bit past that interval at 115, but the truck does run really well. I really have no complaints after owning it so far. Every once in a while, I feel like I do notice a little bit of hesitation or stumbling when it's idling like at a traffic light, but you really have to be like looking for it. So other than that, like, the truck seems good. I'm sure that little bit of stumbling is probably just the spark plugs at 100,000 miles. So we're gonna be doing the NGK brand, and I will put the information in the description box below as well. Either NGK or Motorcraft are recommended. I know everyone has their own opinions, but I'm deciding to do NGK. The process is obviously the same no matter which brand you pick, whether it's the NGK or the Motorcraft brand. All right, so the other thing which I didn't mention is that this V8 actually takes 16 spark plugs. Yeah, it's 2 per cylinder, which sucks. So what I'm gonna do is take off the wheels, and that'll actually be able to get the truck a little bit lower so I can work on the top 8. And then there's 4 through this wheel well and then 4 through the other wheel well. So I'm gonna stop talking, get the truck ready, and we're gonna get these 16 spark plugs. I have the rest of them over there. All right, guys, quick update for you. We got the intake, the filter, the little manifold stuff. We got that off. Probably the most tricky part, as you probably saw, was this back section. Otherwise, you just kind of pop it off. Obviously, I definitely need a new filter, so that will be on the list as well. So while we're in here, we'll probably get one of those. If I don't do it today, I'll probably do it the next week or so. Definitely need that. And I think that's the majority of what we have to move out of the way. Put a little cloth here. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have 4 down there and then 4 down here. So negative battery terminal is off. We got a nice light up here. And I would definitely recommend lowering the truck. It's much easier to work on when it's like a normal vehicle height. Put 2 jack stands here just in case. And don't worry, this is not touching the ground. It is very close though. It's a little probably closer than I'd want, but it is not touching the ground. Jack stands are good. And this will give us access to the spark plugs, but also lower the truck so it's easier. I can actually stand here and work on it. I have a much easier access to it versus standing on a stool and stuff like that. All right, so let's go for the first one here. All right, that's an 8mm. Okay, so we're gonna leave those attached. I don't know if most people leave like those coil packs attached or what. And then I would definitely recommend a handy dandy spark plug socket. This is a long one, and I actually own a short one as well. I feel like I've done spark plugs on almost every car, so these are definitely worth having. They have a little magnet in there. So you just wanna lower this in here. And just gently let gravity kind of grab it. Okay, so that's staying there. And then we'll do another. I think that's a 6-inch. All right. feels pretty loose. Boom. So there is the very first spark plug. I feel like it's not that bad, but you know, obviously it definitely could replace it probably as original. It is the Motorcraft brand, so probably original here. And then we've got kind of a burnt sort of tip there. I don't know if that really matters. Not a mechanic, but yeah. So we're gonna pop the new one back in right away. All right, so I looked up the manufacturer's recommended gapping for these. If you got Motorcraft, they're probably already gapped appropriately. These NGKs, I believe, are like 0.03, and I think we need to be about 0.04. So I just kind of pushed it, you know, 0.04 to 0.045, I believe, is kind of what you want to shoot for. So we're just gonna leave it right there. For reference, we can check the other one, which appears to be a little bit more than that. It's closer to 0.05. So we're gonna just keep them at the manufacturer's recommended, kind of a little bit less, but that should probably be within spec. All right, what I like to do is just gently put this in here. It has a magnet, and then I don't attach the ratchet yet. I just slowly and gently lower it in. You don't want to jam it on anything, of course, because that could affect the tip. Jam it or break it or whatever. And I hand tighten this thing. All right, and if you can, torque these down. These should be about 100 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds. So they really don't need to be extraordinarily tight. Yeah, and I actually did the calculation. People in the forums are saying between 100 and 150. I'm gonna err on the 100 side. That's still pretty tight. That actually got me to 8 foot-pounds. So if you do the calculation, 100 inch-pounds is about 8.3 foot-pounds. That's done. This looks fine. So we will slide it gently back in there. All right guys, so all of the top 8 spark plugs are done. I'll show you all the spark plugs once I'm finished with all of them. But the bottom 4, and then there's 4 over there towards the bottom in the wheel well. If you just follow these wires down, they're actually connected. So if you follow this first one down here, it'll actually lead you to the one that's in the wheel well. And if you guys can see the wire, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but this wire right here, so this wire right here that I'm touching comes down, and there's a little section. I actually put my spark plug socket in this one right here. You can see in the bottom right of the camera. I don't have any more hands to point it out, but that is actually the second spark plug in, and you just kind of yank on it with some pliers. You know, kind of be gentle if you can, kind of wiggle it, yank it. And there she is. All right, quick update for you. The very closest one to the front of the truck, so driver's side front, I actually used a double, so like about 20 inches worth of extension. And then I'm just gonna put the ratchet on right there because this is, I can't even show you on camera, it goes way in there, but you'll be able to see it. Just get a light. It is really tricky. I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard to show on camera, man. I wish I could show you guys a little bit better, but you guys get to see my method. So you're definitely gonna need 2 of these 10-inch bars probably, and then you know, I have a couple extra ones. I have an extra one of these guys, and this is like a 6-inch one, I think. This is like a 3-inch one. So if you have enough extensions, it will work. You know, extensions aren't insanely expensive, but might be worth picking up a couple extra ones if you don't have them already. All right, guys, we got the top 8 spark plugs here. This is the passenger side, and this is the driver's side. Obviously, you know, at 100,000 miles, they need to be done regardless. I would say definitely worth the work. So these are the top 8. I'll show you the bottom 8 in just 1 second. All right, I'm gonna show you guys the bottom 8 spark plugs. These were the driver's side, so obviously they definitely are original as well. And these are the passenger side, and I'm sure you immediately notice that there is one that is in half. And that's actually because it broke when I was taking it out, which is literally probably one of my biggest fears. Believe it or not, I was actually able to get it out. I bought a little, one of those tools to remove like a stripped bolt or whatever. So this part was stuck in there. That little black part is kind of where I used that. And it was actually loose. So it broke when I was getting it out, and I was able to get most of it out. And then the rest, I used needle nose pliers and then that little sinking tool. And that took an extra like 4 hours because I didn't want to have to like have the head taken off or whatever you're supposed to do if you have a broken spark plug. So that sucked. All right, guys, so I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope this was helpful to you. It really is very difficult to show you every single one without shadows and be able to get the camera in there. So the top 8 really are pretty self-explanatory. They're easy. And that probably took me like maybe an hour at the most. So the top 8 are really no problem. It's the bottom 4 and then the other 4 on the other side. And God forbid you guys break a spark plug like I did, you're gonna have a hell of a time. So I got all kinds of extra extensions. I went to AutoZone like literally 4 times because the little thing that I got was too big to fit in the area. It was too long, and then all this other stuff. So it was a huge like extra 3 hours just to get the one out. So that really sucked, but we got them in. I also got a new intake filter or whatever while I was at AutoZone. Probably not my #1 favorite brand or whatever, but it'll be fine. It'll be much better than what was in there. I can always change that out later. So anyways, definitely recommend lowering the truck. So putting it on jack stands. I know it looks like the rotor is touching the ground, but it's not. Definitely recommend lowering it so you can actually reach the top ones. I didn't have to stand on a ladder, but I did stand on kind of the bracing on the inside of the truck earlier. So that's it. I will put information in the description box. Spark plug tools and all kinds of extensions are definitely necessary here. Guys, thanks again. Comment below if I forgot anything. I didn't feel like it was necessary to do the coils or any of those kind of things. I know some guys like change those out, or the spark plug wires or whatever, but mine are fine. It's a highway truck and they seem to be in good condition. So I didn't feel like it was necessary right now. So anyways, comment below and I'll see you guys next time.